Good evening and welcome to our 2021 Christmas concert. It's our first one in 2 years, so it's really exciting that you're all here today. I need you to picture something right now before you hear this group today. Remember that first week they brought those instruments home. Oh, you know what I have one of those at home too. Remember that sound. Are you hearing it? It really wasn't a sound, right? Wait until you hear what we have in store for you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is what 63% of the sixth grade looks like. This is 63% of the sixth grade enrolled in band. We have had a great first half of the year, and we are excited for the rest of it. And by golly, you don't need coffee when you get to wake up with 86th graders learning how to play an instrument. But they have improved immensely over the last couple months, and now we want to feature their independent sections, because you just got to hear what they sound like all together. But now we're going to feature individual sections. So up first, we have a piece called Listen to Our Section. Now, that is much more complicated than it may appear to get individuals to not play when they're not supposed to. But now, this is your chance to take that beautiful picture of your child. They're going to stand up as we feature their individual sections. So first we have our flutes. Wave flutes. Yeah. They will be performing for us Au Clair de la Lune. We now venture into our clarinet section and oboe, which they're a mob themselves. And this is a little Mozart medley. Now, if they're practicing like they're supposed to, you have heard that simple tune 25,000 times. Next, we feature our brass section with special guest, our tenor saxophone. We have our French horn, trombones, baritones, tuba, and trumpets. And I'm going to pause momentarily. Baritones that have the new baritones, we hold them up nice and tall. Our district has been so kind to us to help purchase new instruments because we ran out of instruments because we have so many students. So these beautiful instruments in the back are brand new to the middle school. So thank you to our district. In honor of Hanukkah, which ended yesterday, that was dreidel. And now some of our tunes don't necessarily have a holiday theme, so we decided to give them a holiday theme. Percussion, wave percussion. Yeah! Oh, there you go. They're going to perform Eighth Note Jam, but because it's Christmas time, it's eighth note holiday grandma jam. Now, one of their favorite tunes to perform out of our method book is Hard Rock Blues, but now it's Hard Rock Christmas Candy Blues. Now, Mrs. Valenti and myself cannot handle all of these hooligans right from the get-go. So we have had some special guests that have been jumping in and out through the semester to help us. Retired band directors, Gene and Keith Hudson, and Mr. Jeff Ayers, who still jumps in and helps us a couple days a week. So they help so we can divide this mob into a little bit smaller instrument section groups and give them a little bit more attention at individual times. Now, our next one was actually a very difficult piece to learn because for the first time, they have to play two different things at the exact same time. So they have to play what they know as well as what they're hearing something different. And this is Jolly Old Saint Nick. We have also had an 8th grader that jumps in to help us every once in a while when she has some free time. Anna Pigorsh has jumped in to help our percussion section. Now, to stay up to date on the most recent and important information, please make sure you are following the middle school Facebook page, which is updated regularly with all the important information and features our band quite regularly because someone happens to be the middle school social media person. So I think there's a little bit of favoritism, but I'm okay with it. All right. So we are going to close out our concert with a very familiar tune. This is the 6th grade band performing Jingle Bells. It's amazing. It is very amazing what can happen in just 3 months from Squeaks and Squawks to performing their very first concert. On behalf of Mrs. Valenti and myself, we wish you the merriest of holidays. Thank you for trusting your students with us. We love what we get to do. We are going to dismiss them. They're going to head back to the band room to take care of their instruments. And if you would like to linger for photos, we ask that you head to the Commons. That way we can get ready for our 7th grade portion. So thank you all for your attendance this evening, and thank you for allowing your students to be part of this.
Great. Listen, we can't all leave at once. Here's my system. Push your stance forward. Do not get up and just go. Stay seated. Stay seated. Percussion. Take your stuff, including your music, and you go first out those doors. Leave my sleep belts. Put your caps on, clarinets. I'm gonna actually start with Elijah. I'm gonna start with row 4. You're gonna go first. Ready? Stand up, row 4. Go, row 4. Good evening, and I have to turn this on. Hold on a second. I think I did it right. There it is. Hi. Sorry. Good evening and welcome, and thank you so much for being here. I want to just share before we get started. This is their very first, even though they're 7th graders, this is their first holiday concert. They've not had one because of last year. So I'm really excited. They are very excited. They may look a little bit smaller than the 6th grade if you were here earlier. However, they are a very powerful sounding group, and I'm really excited for you to hear what we have in store for you today. Thank you and enjoy the show. So you noticed in your programs there's some inserts in there, and so what I did with the 7th and 8th grade is I asked for volunteers if there's anyone that would like to maybe play a song by themselves or in a group, and I am very excited to, you can see on the paper that we have so many kids that volunteered to play by themselves, and here's our first group, and they're going to go right in order on your insert. All right, go. ahead, ladies.
Now, this next piece they are about to perform is one that doesn't necessarily fit the holiday theme, but it's a cool piece, and they still want to perform it because they've been working on it for a while. But there's a little bit of backstory. So whether you love them or hate them, they're everywhere. We're talking about bugs, and creepy crawlies is a tribute to those insects. The trumpets playing on their mouthpieces represent the buzzing of an annoying bug, and then a foot stomp depicts their demise. Then we return to the main bug theme that shows although you can get rid of one pest, you can't get rid of them all. to celebrate Hanukkah, which actually ended yesterday, we now perform the Hanukkah song. Now, Christmas came early to Belding Middle School bands this past year. Those candy bars that so many of you sell do go to other things besides just cavities. The Barry saxophone that you see here was purchased with our funds we have raised through the district as well as our fundraisers. So our Belding Middle School bands are growing so fast, we're having to purchase new instruments to keep up with the student demand. So it's awesome that we have such great community support and administrative support that we can supply our students with these much needed instruments. And before our final piece, we want to make sure that you are following the Belding Middle School Facebook page, as many Belding Middle School announcements and Belding Middle School band announcements appear on that Facebook page. Because the Facebook page manager happens to be Mrs. Valenti, we get a little favoritism. So there may be some pictures from tonight's concert up there very, very soon. So before our final piece, we thank you for coming out this evening. We appreciate your trust with your students, and we appreciate your support with these fine musicians who are about to conclude their first concert ever after rocking around the Christmas tree. 7th grade band. Once again, thank you for your attendance this evening. Please have a safe and wonderful holiday. We look forward to many more adventures and concerts in the future. Have a great evening.
Good evening and welcome. Good evening and welcome. This is, I have it on. I did it again. Hi. Good evening and welcome to the 2021 holiday concert. Thank you so much for being here. This is my 3rd year with them, and this is actually Mr. Rubel's this was our first group together. So this is our first time having a group come all the way through the middle school. I'm anxious for you to hear some of their songs that they're going to play. They have an incredible sound. And what I'm even more proud of is that in the inserts in your program, I offered to kids, if you want to play either a solo or a duet or a group, it's your choice. But you'll be playing that by yourself or with a group in front of everyone. And I'm just so proud of the kids that are going to play for you tonight. And I hope you enjoy our concert.
So, a little bit about this next piece from the composer. So, Groovin' 3, or excuse me, Groovin' Kings 3. Christmas is such an incredibly musical time of year. So much music and so many rich traditions to look forward to. I have always loved Christmas music, and I have always loved Christmas music that is different. Music that is outside the box or recreated in a way that is new. Music that maybe defies our normal thinking somewhat and doesn't go where I think it would. Those are the tunes that capture my imagination and quickly become my favorites. Finding ways to recreate these time-honored tunes in a manner that is fun and accessible to younger players is what this piece is about. I was looking for something accessible for young players that would be fun to play as well. Young students will love the percussion groove that sets up the low brass entrance with the melody. It will get the audience grooving as well, with tons of percussion featured at the beginning. Even the triangle adds a unique color and importance when placed in exactly the right spot. No instrument or instrumentalist is too small. Take the traditional carol, We Three Kings, put it to a cool percussive groove, throw in Carol of the Bells to have a little fun, and there you have it. And don't forget a few harmonic twists that take things in a different direction as well. All these elements combine to what I hope will be a cool listening experience for the audience and a fun performance for young musicians. I hope you have a groovin' Christmas with Groovin' Kings 3. just as Santa, or Groovin' Kings 3 had a little backstory, the next piece, Santa the Barbarian, also has a little bit of a backstory. From the composer, as I have stated before, I often suffer from an overactive imagination. This is not precisely true, as I don't really suffer. I enjoy all of the strange ideas that my mind comes up with. And I have the perfect ace in the hole, as anytime someone asks me to explain myself, I simply say, I'm artistic. During my career as a composer, I have written a multitude of Christmas works. These are always quite challenging, as you have two factors working against from the onset. One, you are dealing with a very limited amount of recognizable material, as you can only use works that are in public domain. And two, you are writing in an overpopulated genre in which almost every conceivable combination of holiday tunes has been plumbed to death. The challenge then is to find a new angle that puts a different spin on well-loved holiday classics. Enter Santa the Barbarian. In this work, I have reimagined the jolly old elf as a warrior of the winter wastes. The familiar tune of Up on the Housetop and Jingle Bells are transformed into a war cry for this incarnation of Santa as he navigates the snowy desert with his 8 mighty reindeer: Basher, Danger, Lancer, Victim, Vomit, Brutus, Runner, and Blitz them. On Christmas night, he fights his way across the unforgiving terrain in time to bring toys to all the good children, leaving a path of destruction and candy cane carnage in his wake. Here is Santa the Barbarian. When the winter winds blew in an age long ago, and the Yuletide season brought the darkness and snow, they told of a gift giver in Tome's antiquarian. From the far icy waste he comes, Santa the Barbarian. Well, Christmas came a little early for some of our Belding Middle School band students. We have had, over the last 2 years now, a growth in our middle school band program, so much so we have needed to purchase more instruments because we have not had them. So there are a few instruments on stage that are new to our middle school. Hold them up, nice and, there we go. We have a couple bass clarinets. Tenor saxophone, bari saxophone, a tuba. Yeah. So all those candy bars and things that you have purchased, the profits do go to good use, okay? And speaking of fundraisers, since you are the 8th grade parents, there will be more fundraisers heading your way very soon over the holiday break and as we begin the new year, because we're to the point now where we start to transition this group into high schoolers. So if this is your first time having a high school student, it is upon you. They're no longer your baby. But we will have some fundraisers coming their way very soon, which will help offset the cost of some of their fall fees that we have as we move into high school band and marching band and things like that. So please pay attention to some of your emails and things like that, as well as the Belding Middle School Facebook page, which has lots of good information and up-to-date, especially as we get into that time where they have things like snow days and good information that parents should know that maybe that letter that was handed to the student didn't make its way home. This is a good place to check. And Mr. Barron and Mrs. Valenti are both in charge of that page, so sometimes you might get some extra band pictures because Mrs. Valenti posts some great stuff on there as well. All right. So, yes. And now we are off to our final piece of the evening. So sit back and enjoy some Jingle Bell Rock. Our 8th grade band members. On behalf of Mrs. Valenti and myself, we thank you for your attendance this evening, and we wish you the happiest and merriest of holidays. Please have a wonderful holiday, and thank you for allowing us to spend some wonderful time with your students every day. And I, as a high school director, look forward to seeing them in the very near future and watch them grow as young adults and wonderful musicians. So once again, thank you very much, and enjoy your evening.
So here's what Mr. Google and Mr. King need your help. Percussion, that garage door is going to get open.